What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys had an amazing weekend, but it is now time to get back into business. Let's go over what happened with the AMC today. We're going to cover some support levels and what we expect this week. We're going to quickly glance over the Ortex data and what that means for AMC stock. First and foremost, we bounced off a double bottom here at 31.10, which was the same price level we had Thursday pre-market. Very nice demand and support at that level. And also midday, 32.50s was the second support level we have here. Very important for a stock like AMC that has been kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie, we've been on a downtrend and it is finally nice to see some supports. However, we did see a nice rebound on Thursday and a Friday of last week, in which this case we are rebounding at the same levels. It'd be nice to see a 40 test on AMC this week. I think that's possible. We're off to a good start this week. We didn't close green like we wanted to, but we had a very strong rebound. However, this also might be coupled in with slight covering of the short positions, in which Ortex data is showing negative 2% for AMC, 3.4 million shares returned, 1.25 million borrowed, and a current SI of 14.5%. We've been using Ortex. We know there might not be 100% accurate, but on the bad days, on the good days, when it's positive, when it's negative, let's still stick with it. Take it with a grain of salt. Let's not use it and be for Ortex only when it's showing a massive increase in the short interest. I see this all the time. People call this FUD, hedge fund, and whatnot, only when they don't see the numbers they want to see and confirming their biases. However, overall indices are down heavily, guys. It was a bloody day in the markets, and for AMC to be up nearly almost flat, and even after hours, we can see here we're experiencing a little push. It's a very bullish day for AMC, if you ask me. A lot of things got wrecked today, guys. The indices were down. The Dow was dropping like 900 points, and with the margin calls, another thing that has been on the table, the margin debt we have seen is literally historic high levels, 882 billion for June of this year. This was via Twitter. Margin calls go out at 2 p.m. Eastern, and with the new 002 put into place, I think they have 1 hour, if I'm not mistaken, to cover that call. Margin calls don't necessarily mean immediate liquidation. They have to, however, put some funds into the brokers to cover those losses. However, Citadel comes to mind as for hedge funds and margin calls. They might not be the first one to fall, guys, and they probably even won't. I can almost guarantee that. They're probably at quote-unquote too big to fail. You'll probably see some of the smaller funds, like we had Archie Goes back then, a couple months ago, when they got margin called and they blew up. You'll probably see some of the smaller ones fall before you start to see some of the big ones take a hit. But quite frankly, I don't think we'll see that push or that squeeze based off of just solely margin calls. We might see some movement. I don't know. I think that is predicted by how much lower we can go on an index like the SPY, the Dow, or the NASDAQ, which again had a bloody day today. But if you ask me, this might be somewhat of a correction. And usually behind a pullback like we had in March of 2020, it was of course the Rona. And now we have this Delta variant, and you can see here, you put Delta variant and you put news on the Google. There's three headlines, just the Dow, and the stocks drop. So I think this is the new catalyst that actually is an excuse for the market to pull back, just like again we had in 2020. However, some of the smart money, what are they doing? This was 7 days ago, July 12th. Goldman Sachs says the bull run is over. Now, did they money talks? I mean, they can. I mean, you have to walk the talk, right? If they're going to be saying that the bull run is over, actions speak louder than words. You pull up the second quarter 2021 earnings release presentation. You start to see what kind of money they're playing with. They started with like 20 billion, if I'm not mistaken, at the end, or they ended the year ending of 2020 with 20 billion, and they technically started with 20 billion. As you can see here, their net revenues, they have around 5.1 billion in revenues. You can see here the majority of coming from equity investments. Now, you can obviously, next page, you can see the diversity from industry to asset class. You can go ahead and look at that. I'll put the link down below. You scroll a little bit more down, you see 20 billion, and they actually started with this year. Apart from the 1.5 billion they have here in these positions, in selling or harvesting, as you can see here, which is probably another word for selling, they have 5.5 billion that they actually sold. And usually at the end of a bull market, who is the one buying? It's usually retail. Retail is the one that usually gets wrecked, trying to chase 5%, only to get wrecked by 10-20% on a crash. So keep that in mind. Is the bull run over? There's a lot of variables right now. The variant, inflation, stocks are overextended. Where is that extra buying power coming in from? Probably margin. But keep that in mind and just be safe. Be safe. Sorry for that. Be very safe. Be very careful. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you start getting margin called and take losses that you can't handle or you don't want to see. Manage that risk. It wouldn't be too bad taking some profits if you didn't off the highs, or if you're like me that have been on the sidelines with some cash waiting for a dip. 420 would possibly be my index my price point for support on SPY, and I'm still waiting for AMC. I'm still patiently waiting. I don't know if I'll see that rebound. Like I said, hopefully $40 is that rebound we see at the end of the week. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you slap a like, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow and another live stream. Peace out.